Welcome back to From the Stache, where reality and podcast collide within the music industry. With your host, James Davis McAllister. From the Stache Podcast. Hey, have you ever listened to your favorite album and thought, why doesn't my band sound this fucking crushing? Or maybe you want to record somewhere that you can be captured at your peak abilities. I'm Brandon, and I run Folsom Audio. Whether you need music taken from the ground up, or you just want to record through analog gear, Folsom Audio is your answer. Specializing in rap, hard rock, metal, as well as vocal production, and with 11 years mixing experience, your music will always sound the way it was meant to. Check us out at folsomaudio.com.
More comprehensive than here. Welcome back to another From the Stache podcast. I'm your host, James Davis McAllister, and today's guest, Mr. Andy Bane, probably mostly known for his time with Dangerkids, being the front man. Thanks for joining the show here, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. Happy to be here, dude.
So, first and foremost, Dangerkids.
Yes.
Now, I'm from Ohio. You guys are Ohio-based, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of my friends, I'm up by the Cleveland area and stuff like that. We got really into you guys, especially when Paper Thin had dropped. And, you know, like it just up here is like, the next, and I'm sure you hear this all the time, and my apologies, the next Linkin Park, Park.
I mean, no need to apologize. Like, if we were the next Linkin Park, do you think I'd be upset about that?
I know sometimes people get like, you know, they hate being compared, you know, or being, you know, we're different, we're unique, or we're original.
Our thing was like when we like in Paper Thin, Light Escapes, we name dropped Linkin Park for that reason. That was the first song we put out, and we know the comparison's going to be made, so let's just wear it on our sleeve, and we know that, you know what I mean? That way, like, we're not like, you know, who's Linkin Park? You know what I mean? Like, of course we know who they are, and like they're a huge inspiration to us. But I think we found more of our own sound, especially now, like moving forward and stuff, that it's different enough. I don't think people are really going to make much of that comparison anymore. But no, I mean, we don't get tired of hearing it or anything like that. Like, it's not we knew that going in. You know what I mean? We knew what to expect. So
right. So what is going on with you guys right now?
We've been laying low a little bit. We're still together. We haven't broken up. We don't really post much on social media right now or anything, just because like if we post anything that's not a new song, everyone's like, we don't give a fuck. When's the new music coming out? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And that's always the reply. So like, no, we have a few new songs. We haven't released anything yet. There's some label stuff that we're working out right now, which is like, I can't talk about it, but it's really exciting. There's some of that going on. And then Tyler has been doing a bunch of albums out in LA producing. He's done like, you know, like Falling Reverse, I Prevail. That last album we did with them got nominated for 2 Grammys, you know, so like they're doing another album right now, I believe, with him. And whenever he's done with that, I'll be flying back out to LA, and we're going to try to hammer out the rest of this EP, full length, whatever we're doing. But yeah, we're still together.
That's awesome. So like with that said, and again, I don't know if you're NDA'd out of your mind, do you guys have any plans for like the summer shows or anything like that? Or you focus more on getting the new material first?
More on the new material, because we get asked about touring a lot, even before COVID happened. And everyone's like, when are you guys going on tour again? And the answer is like, we don't really know, because like most tours we've only done one headliner ever. So most tours we're supporting. And if you're a band booking a tour and you have a new album coming out, you're not going to bring out a band that hasn't put out an album in 3 years. You know what I mean?
Very true. Like, yeah.
You want someone to go on tour with you that's also promoting an album, or is like blowing up right now, you know, anything like that. So like no one really wants to take us on a tour right now. But once we have some new music out, I mean, we have so many friends and so many other bands we've toured with that I'm sure we would be touring with again. You know, so many, especially Tyler moved out to LA a few years ago.
That's what I was going to say.
Killing it.
Yeah, doing that. That's huge connections there.
I mean, that's why we did that Falling Reverse tour. Like, we had the same manager as them, and at Rock on the Range a few years ago, we both played, and he was telling Tyler, like, yo, I want you to meet Ronnie, because I think you guys would like really hit it off, and I want you guys to make a couple songs together, just see what happens, you know. So him and Ronnie met there. Him and Ronnie started killing it, making like awesome music, put out that album that was huge, and then we went on tour with them. Because of that, you know, he was like, fuck it, dude, I'm gonna take you guys on tour because you guys are awesome. You guys got a new album coming out. Like, let's do it. So, I mean, that's just, it's a small world, and most tours we've done, it's like bands we've met before, known previously, and stuff like that. So
yeah, it is like a tight niche, like community. It's like a community, and you kind of all know each other, by proxy, because this person knows that person, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
What was that like being on tour with Falling in Reverse? Because I mean, arguably, people can say what they want about Ronnie Radke. He's arguably, could go down and is the popular. I don't even know how you want to word this. The most popular, prestigious vocalist band of this scene generation. What was that like to be on tour with them?
Dude, it was awesome. Like Tyler said before, he's like, Ronnie's like a rock star. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we aren't like that. Like, we're all like, cool dudes and stuff, but like, he's just has that like aura, or I guess, I don't know, without sounding too corny, but he's just an awesome dude. And like, he's a killer vocalist, which I didn't like. I've listened to Escape the Fate way back when, so I've known about him for a long time. And, I mean, that tour was huge, but it really made me respect him even more as a musician, just because like he goes on stage every night and just kills it. Like, and Tyler was even saying when they were recording, like, dude, he doesn't have to warm up. Like, when we record, I have to warm up for like an hour. He was like, Ryan just comes in, lays it down, that's it. Like, first take, and we're good. Like, so he's just an awesome musician, and that tour was phenomenal. It's huge. It's one of the bigger tours we've done, and I mean, every single stop on that tour was just insane, and the crowd was so receptive. Like, some tours we've done, like, maybe we're kind of the odd man out, or we're the band with rapping, so like maybe some people don't get into it as much, but I mean, Ronnie's done that. He's rapped in albums and stuff, and like, so if people were more open and perceptive, I think, to our style of music. So that tour was especially one of the most fun ones we've ever done.
Okay, now this is a little different. I just want to know, like, your opinion and like what your thoughts are, like, with this COVID. I know, like, me personally, I was booking shows full time prior to COVID hitting, and I know that the venues, I mean, probably because I don't want to exaggerate, because I'm not exactly sure, but in my little northeastern Ohio area, I'd say, I mean, at least 7 out. Let's say you name 10 venues, 7 out of those 10 are closed, and they're probably not going to open back up. Like, what are your thoughts on the music scene going forward? Like, do you think that, a band of, like, see, you guys with Tyler going over there and stuff, you guys are kind of going to be all right. But let's say me, right? For example, I'm starting a new band. What are my chances as being the next Dangerkids or whatever? Do you think that, like, with this whole COVID, it's really going to put a restraint on, getting newer bands and, these younger bands and smaller bands? Do you think it's going to create much harder road to that success? Or
I really think so, because like I think it will bounce back first. Let me just say that, because it's going to have to. There's going to be a demand for live shows again, like more than ever, because people haven't been to a live show in a year and a half now, and or a year, I guess. But just from previous experience, like in all my old bands and stuff, like the hardest thing was just finding a venue to play at, and all of those venues are closed. So like when I was like younger, when I first started my first bands in Ohio, like at the same time, like Hawthorne Heights was coming out with their big stuff, and like Devil Wears Prada, like all these local Ohio bands were blowing up, and there were all of these venues to play at. So we played within our like, city suburb limits every weekend at a different venue, and then as we've gotten older, all of those venues have been closing already. And now like COVID hits, and it's gotten even worse. So it's like, that was the really cool thing about Dayton a long time ago. There was no shortage of places to play. There was no shortage of crowds at every single one of those venues. And now it's just going to be a lot harder, but it's going to have to bounce back. You know what I mean? People are tired of sitting at home and not going to live shows. Like, I get on Facebook or Twitter every day, and it's just the first thing I see is someone make, man, this is 2 years ago at this show. Like, I want to go back to normal. I want to be at shows again. Like, and me too. I want to play shows again. And who knows when that's going to happen, man. It's like, it sucks.
I can't. I still do book shows. I'm literally booking a tour for one of the artists I have on my artist development group, and like I haven't stopped, and I've gotten shit for it. I have gotten shit for it, and I've been reported a couple times. I mean, there's, I've dealt with some bullshit with it. And it's still not deterring me from doing it. I whether I'm wrong in doing it, I try to make sure that everybody's following precautions. You got to have a mask, and be as socially distanced as you possibly can be at a concert. It's kind of hard to do. But the way I looked at it, it was, well, if these gyms can be open, and you know this can be open and that can be open. Why can't I have a concert?
If you can go to the Super Bowl, if you can go to an NFL game, like there's
got
to be make it fit shows too. You know what I mean? Like
right,
it's that crazy,
right?
Like,
and maybe I'm wrong for doing that, but it's all I know, dude. You know what I mean? It's like literally all I know, and it was a real depressing moment when that had happened. So now, are you into any conspiracies off the music thing? Because like my interviews, and people will notice, they kind of just go everywhere. I don't like to have cookie cutter interviews. We got the music questions out of the way. So like, are you into any conspiracies or anything like that? Is there anything that you often think about, or you're like, I wonder, oh no, that's not like this?
Not really. I think I used to be a lot more. But it's just, I don't know. Like, I see so many conflicting things all the time. And I do think there's shit going on that we have no idea about. There's a lot of stuff being kept from us. I mean, that's been happening historically for years. Like the CIA used to do some fucked up shit, like in the 60s and, stuff like that. Like, to say that's not happening now is really crazy to say, so not really. I did get a kick out of a lot of the COVID conspiracies when it first came out. Like, all of the 5G towers and stuff. And I made a troll Facebook account because the town I live in, they do a festival every year, and the festival got canceled last summer because of COVID. And they're like, like a lot of our vendors aren't going to be there this year, so we're not going to do it. And our city, like on Facebook, was just this huge outcry, people making fun of the government and so like, you can't do that. Like COVID can't tell me how to run my life and blah, blah, blah. So I made a troll Facebook account. And I took pictures of power lines outside my house. And I was like, these 5G towers are causing COVID. And like, we need to burn them all down. And people were like, yeah, brother. And I'm like, it's a power line, dude. It's a telephone pole. It's not a cell phone tower. Like,
my God.
It was just like, luckily, like that stuff died off, And,
Jesus. That's hilarious, though.
But luckily I haven't seen the 5G stuff anymore. It's like, that's just doesn't make sense.
It goes to show, I don't even know if this is a word. Well, I guess gullibility, but the vulnerability of people, man, they just, it's the sheep. And I'm not using the term sheep or whatever, but it's the sheep mentality of just like, everybody starts saying something or not even everybody, but one or two people. And it just, how quickly that can snowball, especially on the internet.
I think, especially with COVID, there was a lot going around at first. And I mean, now the big one, is it as deadly as we think or not? Or is it just the flu or not? And there's all these conflicting stuff.
Right.
But like, I think the reason they got so big, especially with COVID and stuff too, which is not by far not the first conspiracy theory, but the more recent one I can think of, is people are just looking for an answer. They're pissed off at the world because they got to stay home and they can't go back to life. So they're looking for any sort of answer that like puts the problem somewhere else. Like that, I can blame the government. You know what I mean? I can blame this fucking mysterious agency or whatever. Like, I think people were just looking for answers, and there's not really a whole lot of answers. The truth is just the pandemic, and it sucks, and it's just like how it is. Like, but I think people were just desperate to find someone to blame or to believe, to tell themselves it's not real, and they can go back to life as normal, even if everyone else won't yet. Like, so.
It's some people can't accept the simplicity of it. It's a pandemic, and it is what it is. I mean, there may be other layers to it, but I feel sometimes, and I'm guilty of this myself, you try to think too much into things, trying to break down things down to its finest point, and it's like, man, just let it be what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, I lied about not going, or we were done with the music. I've had at least 4 to 5 people ask me, dude, you gotta get on them. About, you already know what's coming here, man.
Yeah.
So let's make sure we're both headstrong here when we talk about this. All right. First of all,
speaking of conspiracy theories, no, I'm just kidding.
Yes, I gotta know, and if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But I watched this whole thing unfold, man. This Trapt Dangerkids.
Mm-hmm.
How did this start, and what is this about? This Trapt Dangerkids feud.
Yeah. It's not really about anything, man. Like, the guy's just an idiot. We started, I will say, we started beef with them before it was cool. All right. Like, because it got real big again, like last summer or whatever. But we initially got into, or me, I should say, it was all me, got into a fight with them on Twitter in like 2016. We were on tour with I Prevail at the time. And he basically, long story short, a friend of ours, like a band friend of ours, like we meet up with him every time we're playing like Jersey or whatever. He was in a band as well, and his band played with them, opened up for them, sold tickets, blah blah blah, all this and that. And regardless of what happened, because I heard different things, but I chose to believe him what he told me. Like, they sold these tickets, they opened up for him, they set up a merch table, and then Trapt came over and told him, like, we're going to use the merch table because, like, we don't have one. Which is like, how are you going to band not have a merch table? Anyways, so they were going to steal it, or just not steal it, but just use it. And then, like, they were like, well, this is like our merch table, this is how we make money too, you know? And they were like, well, too bad. Like, well, I guess we'll just kick you off the show then. And like some shit, you know, regardless of what happened, there's video evidence of him screaming at these teenagers, like trying to fight them, you know? And so that was all I needed to see. So basically I just tweeted about it. I retweeted it, and I was like, man, they need to fucking grow up or hang it up, you know? And he took that personally. And man, I followed this dude for like 3 straight days on Twitter. And it was just so funny because he's so dumb. And luckily now he doesn't have a platform to speak on anymore. You know, like, he got banned off Twitter, Facebook, all that shit. But I think my favorite, I just roasted this guy all day because, like, I don't care what he says about me, like, you know. And he was like, just making fun of our band, blah, 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 this and that. And he's like, too bad your label takes all your money. I'm like, you couldn't be further from the truth. Like, anyways, he was talking about all this money he makes. I'll never be as cool as him because he makes more money than I do every year just on, you know, sales royalties from Headstrong. And I was like, oh, that's cool, man. I was like, you're so rich. Why did you guys have a Kickstarter for your last album again? You know?
Yeah, and why are you playing local venues with local bands?
Why are you begging people for money? And like, what was funny is we were on tour at the time, and our tour route was following theirs. Like, a lot of the same venues. People were like, yeah, there was 15 people here. Like, there's 20 people here.
Yeah,
and we met so many people. After that happened, like, we'd show up to shows, and there was like someone in the crowd. We're in the middle of a song, and he holds up a sign that just says "Trapt sucks," and I just started laughing like while I was singing because I just saw it was on a pizza box, you know. And we just heard all these stories from other venues and people that work there. Like, we met a sound guy in Arkansas, and he was like, "Yeah, they played here like 6 years ago, and they have their own monitor guy." And he was screaming at me because he's like, the guy normally did monitors. He's like, he was screaming at me, saying there's feedback in his mic. And like, that's your guy, not me. Like, and he said he threw the microphone at his face and busted his nose open. Like, so, I mean, that's the kind of guy he is, you know? So, but yeah, it just went on. It just went on for a few days, and eventually it died off. And then it got real big again over the summer. Cause
now, did that help at all? Like your guys' like, did it help you grow at all, or are they that irrelevant that it really did?
I think there's just that irrelevant. It did make news, you know, because like it happened basically like overnight. I was just fighting this guy on Twitter till like 3 a.m. And then the next morning I woke up and I saw Alternative Press posted it, and we were like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, and then I read the article, and it basically just stated the facts, and I didn't look like the bad guy, you know what I mean? Because they have him on record on these tweets saying local bands suck, local bands don't matter. And it's like, everyone that reads AP is probably in a local band, if not more. Like, you just offended everyone, you know? So
shit, half the bands in it are local.
Yeah.
God.
So AP just put it like Andy Bane from Dangerkids sticking up for local bands, you know, and that's what they painted. Like, won't say they painted as that because that's basically how it started.
It is.
But luckily, it showed us in a very positive light, which was the truth. But like, it didn't. I was just expecting to see an article like, we're just fighting and it looks fucking, you know, just childish and whatever. And it really, really wasn't. The dude needed to be told off, and so
yeah,
that's what it was,
dude. I mean, well, it's people like him that did you know, discourage local bands and shit like that. You know,
yeah.
You know, and it's not a good look, dude. And I get we got bad apples, you know, you got bad apples in a bunch of stuff like that. But especially like if you're following that route on your tour, man, like you don't want some fucking guy like that. I mean, he's just literally putting fire to all these, you know, bridges that you guys are gonna have to cross over too. You know, so I mean, I tell you did the right thing, irregardless whether it was, you know, trolling or whatever it may have been.
Yeah,
at least that put that out in the limelight where venues and local bands, shit like that, got to see it and are like, oh, okay, we're staying away from that.
Dude, I had people.
I wonder if it's affected them.
I don't know. I mean, their last album just came out this summer, and they're making all these bold claims, and
I didn't even know
it sold 600 copies, and they were saying it was going to be their biggest of all time. So I mean, but of course he was like, it didn't actually sell 600. It sold much more than that, and that's fake and blah blah. I'm like, of course it is, dude. Like, I don't know anyone that listens to you anymore. I don't know a single person that listens to you guys. So sure, go ahead and say you sold a million copies.
And like it. And if he was smart, he'd be nice to you guys, because you're like, not just you, but every band like that that's, you know, on tour and stuff like that, because that's what he needs. It's like he needs that newer fan base. You know,
would
like,
think.
Yeah, fucking idiot. Well,
he's one of those guys though. He's a bully, but he loves to play the victim card.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
he bullies all these people, and they stand up to him like, "Oh, look at me, I'm the victim. I haven't done anything. Like, all these people are against me because I have my opinions on political things." And like, just blame it on whatever you want, dude. Just like stop.
Sociopath, you know.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Now, what are you up to now, man? Like, what are you doing nowadays, dude? You working a 9 to 5? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I work too. Basically, ever since we've been touring, I've always had a job.
Yeah, you kind of.
Luckily, I've had jobs that let me leave and come back. You know.
Yeah.
So like right now I work at a restaurant, and my girlfriend is the scheduling manager. So when I need to leave for like tour and stuff, I've worked there for like almost 4 years. She makes it happen. You know?
What do you do?
So I work at a barbecue restaurant. It's a smokehouse.
Okay.
So basically just like make smoke meats and stuff. And
okay, you cook. Like gotcha. I was a sous chef. I was a sous chef in a former life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's
awesome.
It's
it's good stuff, man. Like cut open a lot of briskets and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
But it's one of those restaurants you come in, you order, and like you see me cutting it right there for you.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but it's cool, and they let me leave and come back on tour because I got hired with that in mind, you know. So I've already left a couple times for tour when I first started working there, and like going out to record like our stuff and like the Sonic the Hedgehog thing. I took like a week off for that, and they just make it happen, you know. And then so yeah, luckily I still have that 9 to 5 to fall back on.
Now, are you doing like anything else? Like, is there?
Yeah, I'm also streaming. I've been streaming on Twitch for I think next month it'll be 3 years since I've been streaming. And that's been going really well. Like,
so you partnered then, or
not partnered? No, partner's really hard to get, just because like I meet all the requirements except for like the 75 average viewers. My streams vary, like they go up and down. I just kind of play whatever.
Right. Oh, so affiliate is what I meant. Affiliate. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
So you can get subscriptions.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, shit. I'll give you my Prime. I'll give you my Prime because Dr. D. Once they got rid of Dr. Disrespect, my Prime just sits there.
I call the Prime subs the Bezos bucks because it's free. It's free to use, and I still get the same amount. You know, and
you're right.
So it's like it's not costing you anything. But yeah, no, stream's been going really well. It's been kind of a part-time job since I started doing it. I didn't do it with that in mind, like, you know, making it a job or whatever, a source of income. But it has been lately, and it's been good, you know, like. And not only that, like I play video games all the time. That's like my main hobby, you know, and I might as well stream it if I'm going to play, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, why not? And I've met so many cool people from it too, and like made connections and stuff. And like, there's this guy, I don't know if you're familiar with the game Escape from Tarkov at all.
Yes, of course I am. Yeah.
But yeah, a partner streamer I've met through music because he knew about my band and he used to be in a band stuff too. I played Tarkov with him like a few years ago. And he kind of showed me the ropes, and he's a partnered streamer. He got partnered like a year ago or something like that. And he mainly plays Tarkov, and he's been blowing up. And he did a 24-hour stream because they had these things. Long story short, people might not care about it, but Twitch was doing these things, drops, where if you watch a stream of a game for X amount of hours, you'll get stuff in the game that's like valuable or whatever, just from watching. And so he did a 24-hour stream with like 80,000 viewers, and I stopped by. I was like, yo, dude, what's up? Like, it's awesome to see, man. This is awesome. Like, so happy for you, dude. And he's like, yeah, he's like, dude, I was just playing your guys' music in here a little bit ago for like 80,000 people, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like music and streaming go very hand in hand. And I started doing it as a way to keep people updated, not just on the band, but like, you know, there's so many people from my stream initially were people that we've met on tour. And so it's just kind of a way to keep up and communicate with fans and stuff like that. Because we even before COVID, like we don't tour as much as a lot of other bands. So, you know, but yeah, it was just like, I don't know, I started doing it and I've met so many friends and cool people from it, and it's been awesome. And Yeah, I don't know. Twitch is like my main thing right now. So
it makes sense, though. I mean, being a frontman of a band and stuff like that, you already kind of are popular, in a way. So like, I mean,
that's how it. Yeah, that's how it started. Like when I first started streaming, it was all people from the band, or people fans of the band, and now it's gotten to the point where it's the other way around, and it's people coming in the chat from various, other directions or whatever.
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, you're in a band?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, let me tell you about it." Like, I have a command in my chat. You type !band. It shows you a list of all of our socials and stuff. And so, like, you guys were in a fucking Sonic the Hedgehog game? It's like mind blowing. Like, yeah, that's me. Like, so lately it's been promoting the band. At first it was the band promoting me, and now it's me promoting the band. So it's just gotten our music out to even more people that like, so many people come in the chat, they hang out for a few minutes. They look up the band like, "Oh, you guys are sick." And they're like, "Hey, I just bought your guys' album." Like, like awesome, dude. Like, so it goes hand in hand. I don't know. It's really cool.
Well, I'll be sure to link it down in the description below. What games do you main? Like, what games do you play?
It varies. Mostly like shooter games, which is funny because I'm not good at those. Very like, but like lately a lot of Rainbow Six Siege I've been streaming. That's been kind of my main game off and on for the last few years. But I play a lot of other stuff too, like League of Legends is another big one for me. It's like one of my favorite games ever, and it's actually like what we do on tour most of the time. Like,
that's a popular game too.
Yeah, me and Tyler both have been playing it since like 2011, 2012, something like that. And when we're on tour, we will literally, if we have a day off, we get a hotel room with Wi-Fi, and we post up and we play that game all day.
So hell yeah, that's
it's like so much that it's like not a problem, but like my girlfriend Ava, people will be like, "Oh, do you trust him?" Like, leaving for a month, like he could be meeting all these girls and all this stuff. She's like, literally every time I talk to him, he's just playing League of Legends.
Like, right? Like, no, man. I'm worried he's gonna miss his show. I ain't worried about him fucking.
Like there was one time where we played at a venue, and the other half of it was a strip club, but that other half had Wi-Fi. So me and Tyler went in there in the back dark corner of a strip club, and we played League of Legends at a table.
Jesus, that's like a bit off a fucking comedy show.
I know, dude. Like people like, I've talked about it on stream a bunch. We're like, dude, that is so lame. I'm like, I already have a girlfriend. He has a wife. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, so I might as well play video games.
Yeah, like for real. Especially kill your time, make it enjoyable. Because a lot of people don't understand touring can be, it can be tough. It's
so much. It's so much downtime too. Like, don't get me wrong, it is awesome, but it's either downtime or hurry up and wait. And
Yep, for 30 minutes or 40 minutes or an hour of your time, really, out of a whole day is all you gotta, actually work, do something. Yeah. The other times you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs or whatever it may be, rehearsing or getting ready.
We'll play a show. I'm just thinking like a random place like St. Louis or something. And like we'll play at St. Louis, and they're like, "Oh, did you guys go see the Ark today, or did you go to this museum?" Like, no, we literally showed up at 3 p.m., loaded in, sound checked, and now we can't go anywhere until we play. You know what I mean? Like, unless we can drive to it, Right. So it's like, that's just you get up early, you drive all night, you load in, you sound check, you play, you hang out the table, and then you drive the next show, So it's a lot of downtime, or a lot of just, hurry up and wait kind of stuff. Just get there, sound check, and then wait for 3 hours till you play. Like,
all right. Well, we're going to wrap it up here shortly, but before we do, is there anything that like you want to say or shout out or mention before we do? And then of course I'm going to link your Twitch down below in the description, but
yeah. I mean, mainly that, just like the Twitch and the band. That's
okay.
That's my main things. It's kind of like who I am, I guess. I know.
Yeah. It's.
But the main thing is we're not dead. We do.
Right. I was worried, and I didn't think you were, because it says active. Anywhere I look, it says active. And I was a little worried, because I'm like, damn, that'd be a shame if they went out already. Like
I've actually previewed like snippets of the new songs on stream and got people like super hyped. So like I'll stream bits of the songs occasionally.
Now you're streaming this evening, correct?
Yeah. I don't know what time I'm going to start, but I'm off all day today, so I was going to do probably a pretty long one. But
I'm going to do what I can to get this edited and get it out. But I was going to put it out later in the evening, but I'm going to go ahead and get it edited, get it out immediately.
That's cool, man.
I'll promo maybe a little bit for your stream.
Right on.
But hey,
I'll mention it today on stream too. I'll mention the podcast and stuff. And
there we go. Then it'll work out. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you taking your time and dealing with the scheduling and all that shit, dude.
Oh, half of it was me too. I was like, let's do Friday night, and I was like, fuck, I work Friday night. Shit.
Yeah, and then yesterday, doing this tour, I had to meet with these people, or well, it was a call, it's what it was, but I didn't know how long it was going to be, and I didn't want to, be like, yeah, we can do it at this time, and then flake again. So I appreciate you.
I get that, dude. Yeah, I like doing this kind of stuff, man.
Being flexible and whatnot. But with that said, dude, take it easy, and hopefully we get to hear some new music soon from you.
Yeah. We're working on it. So I don't know when we can put stuff out yet, but hopefully soon. So.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for joining the podcast today.
No problem, dude. Thanks for being here.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, let me give you a little rundown. It's free, number one. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit right from your phone, and I'm not going to lie, that's exactly what I do. They also distribute your podcast to every major platform. And not only that, you can make money from your podcast with you don't have to have any listenership. Right when you start, you can make money. It's everything you need literally to make a podcast in one place. Download the Anchor app for free or go to anchor.fm to get started. I want to thank McAlpine Meadery for sponsoring this episode of From the Stache podcast, located at 10035 Johnsford Road, Beach City, Ohio, 44608. Phone number 330-756-5019. Again, 330-756-5019. They take passion in brewing high-quality European-style artisan honey wine known as mead. It's available in 87 retail stores. It's also available in 36 different states to your front door. You can order online at www.mcalpinemead.com. Again, that's www.mcalpinemead.com. Hours of operation, Wednesday 4 to 10, Friday 4 to 12, Saturday 12 to 12, bands Fridays and Saturday nights. Thanks again to McAlpine Meadery for sponsoring this episode of From the Stache podcast. Now on to the show, folks.